Now class 8, as you know that yesterday we have started with this chapter, that is Comet 2. So in Comet 2, what we were studying, in the first part of the chapter, we have read that and that an amateur astronomer, Mr. Datta, he has discovered actually a comet, and it was named after his name as Datta Comet. Okay. Why it was named as Datta Comet? Because it was the general practice that the comet is named after the name of its discoverer. So finally, what you can say, after calculating all the, you can say, facts, and after making all the calculations about this, you can say about this comet, it was calculated that it is going to hit Earth and collide with Earth exactly after 10 months. So the great suspense was created in the first chapter, that is Comet 1. And now coming up here, that is to Comet 2. Now in Comet 2, finally, what happened that an international conference of all the experts has been organized, and Datta was also, of course, invited there. And in the conference, it was decided that there are three options. First is to just overlook that it will be finished on its own, but that is not the right thing to, you can say, to rely upon. And the next one was that how to tackle this type of collision. So for that, what happened that they decided that in the spacecraft, some nuclear payload will be set up at the exact time, exact date, and exact direction, so that when the comet will pass from near this spacecraft, a remote control, you can say, spark will be caused, and this nuclear payload will blast, and the comet will also be broken, or it will have an effect upon the comet, so that the direction of the comet can be diverted, so that it can avoid collision with the Earth. Now, finally, we have read, so here in this regard, we have read that these three dates were very important. October 10, when the spacecraft will be dispatched with payload. November 15, that is rendezvous with the comet, means meeting with the comet. And next is December 15, means if the experiment failed, that was the last day of the Earth. And if it succeeded, then comet would pass safely from the Earth. Okay, so this we have read. So next here, okay. So Mr. Datta, he was regularly in contact with that of Mr. James Macpherson. So now let us read what will happen. So open up your books here on this page displayed. It is page number 83. So let us relate it with the previous one a bit. Yes, this paragraph I'm reading. Do you think we will succeed? The Datta asked Sir John Macpherson for his opinion. During this week, the two had developed considerable affinity for each other. So the Datta asked Sir John Macpherson, what is your opinion? Do you think that we will succeed? Now, during that time, 2 weeks time, what has happened? They had developed great affinity, means good friendship with each other, as they were discussing a number of things. And you know, boundaries never matter from which country you are. It is the knowledge that you have. And I don't think so. It is knowledge is of course dependent upon language. That it never means that if you speak in English, you are more knowledgeable. Sometimes you can say, if this was the, you can say, of course, like English is the language of the world, no doubt. But other languages, people from other countries also, they are making quite and considerable inventions. Okay, so it is the knowledge that is to be respected in the person. Mr. Datta, I will give you an honest answer. I'm not buying any Christmas presents till December 15. So what he said, he says, sir, actually, Mr. Datta, I want to tell you one thing. Okay, that for this Christmas, I'm not going to purchase any presents. Why not going to purchase any presents? Why he is not going to purchase any presents? Because he was not sure whether they would survive or not. So this is the reason. Duttatta toured the British Isles, means islands, for 2 weeks after the conference, and he had a pleasant time visiting observatories, means labs, and exchanging views with amateur as well as professional astronomers. So now, as he has gone, Mr. Datta has gone to foreign country. So he had been, you can say, he had made some visits also. He has gone to British Isles for 2 weeks, has gone to various laboratories there. He had discussed with, you can say, amateur as well as professional astronomers too. On his return, he was greeted by the inevitable vast crowd of friends, social leaders, students, and the usual hangers on. Okay. Now, what are hangers on? Hangers on means people in meeting. Hangers on means people in meeting. It is people in meeting. So what it means that, so when he has returned, he was welcomed. Greeted means he was welcomed by inevitable. Inevitable means unavoidable, vast crowd of friends, social leaders, students, and some, you can say, other people who are going to meet him. Loaded with garlands, bombarded means blasted with questions. Everyone is coming, press people are coming, asking him, yes, tell us about your experience, because nobody knew for what reason he has gone to the conference. It was quite a secret. Okay, it was of course kept a secret. So why he has gone? It is only, you can say, between the people at the conference and between Datta. So finally, they thought that he was invited, for he has discovered this Comet Datta. So everybody is welcoming him with garlands, and they were asking him questions. And from the press, he somehow made his way to the waiting car. So finally, answering questions and pushing them people aside, finally he has come back to his car. Now, arriving home, question answers we will do at the last. Okay. So, yes, Guntas, if you have entered the class, don't leave the class just showing your presence. Okay. And let me announce that the students who will be present till last, okay, only only their attendance will be marked. Okay. So, arriving home, he found another crowd gathered under a pandal. He glanced questioningly at Indrani Devi. So when he has come to his home, what he saw? Large number of people gathered around his house. Why? He looked. Glance means to have a look. He just at once paid a look towards Indrani Devi. Surely she knew how he hated crowds. He knew that she hated crowds, but for what reason? So many people have gathered near his house. Indrani, obviously uneasy, offered the explanation. I have arranged a yajna. Yajna means a yagya, and called priests to bless you. So I told you in the previous chapter, we have also read that she was superstitious in nature. And for this reason, what she has done, she thought that this comet is going to bring ill luck, bad luck for him. And for this reason, what she has done, she has organized a yagya by consulting those astronomers, okay, who are priests. Okay, so finally she has arranged this kind of, you can say, yajna for him, so that the ill fate of comet would not affect him, so that he would be saved from the calamity that is going to happen. But why? Now Datta was surprised. But why you organize this? Just because I left the shores of India? He said, why you have organized this yagya? It is just because of this reason that I left India for a few days. You know, it is no longer taboo. Taboo means set belief, which is not changed. Set belief of society, some religious belief. Okay. Actually, the thing is that we need to come out of that taboos. So he said, this is just a belief, taboo, set belief, religious belief. And in any case, you know my views on these meaningless rituals, and you know what is my viewpoint on these rituals. It means that because he was a scientist, of course, okay, he had a scientific temperament, scientific nature. So he was not at all ready to understand and these kind of, or the importance of these kind of religious practice. practices, because he thought that these religious practices, they are no longer effective. There is some or the other, you can say, reason behind it, and this is what he actually want to find out. So now what happened? He said that, what is my, you can say, what is my opinion about this? He was not at all, you can say, ready about it. So Indrani Devi looked at Shivaji Babu. So now a new character is introduced here whose name was Shivaji Babu. So a new name was introduced here, Shivaji Babu. Who's that Shivaji Babu? He is the younger brother of her husband. It means Shivaji Babu is Datta's younger brother. Now, Shivaji Babu coughed and explained, "We have all been very disturbed since you discovered the comet." Now he is trying to take hold of the situation. He's trying to explain. So what he said actually, what he's going to deliver is that actually we all have been very disturbed. We were really very disturbed. Okay, since the time you have discovered this comet, Guruji recommended a Shanti Yajna to pacify. To pacify means to have control over. To pacify the evil spirit behind the comet. Now he said, we have consulted our Guruji and he has suggested a small yajna to be performed for this, so that the evil spirit of the comet can be calmed down. And we all are waiting for you to perform the yajna. And as we were knowing that you are coming today, so we all are here to perform this yajna. Now, may I know what specific advantage there is in this ceremony? Now he said, can you tell me that what is the actual benefit of this kind of ceremony? Now, Datta was outwardly calm. Outwardly means from outside. He was of course calm, but inside he was quite disturbed. The comet you have discovered will not cause any ill effects on the earth. Now he said, actually, this because of this yajna, if we will perform this, because of this, the comet you have discovered, it will not cause any harm on this earth. So whenever any kind of superstition or some set belief, religious belief is there, there is a reason behind it. Because in older times, when this kind of comet was discovered, so it is just like in the present time, we have the capability, because of scientific advancements, that we are able to divert the path of this type of collision. But in older times, what happened? Nothing can be controlled, because everything was so natural. So people were afraid of these kind of collisions. So this is the reason, or sometimes maybe because of a hit, some, you can say, some rocks and some this kind of, you can say, explosive material that was falling on earth because of you can say breaking of comet, because of hit of comet with something else in the universe. So it is just because of this reason that people thought that it is, of course, you can say, it is of course really, you can say, harmful for all of us. Okay, but nowadays, as everyone science has developed a lot and everyone has a scientific temperament, so people don't believe that it is so natural. It is of course the path of nature, or it is of course the course of nature that is being followed. So it is for this reason that some people, they still believe in those religious practices and all that. Okay, so at this remark, Datta blew up. Blew up means he was blasted. Don't you know that this is all superstition? He was annoyed. He said, don't you know that what is this? This all is superstition. It could be condoned in the olden times. Okay, when man did not know what comets were. Not so in modern times. Now he said, what is the meaning of condoned? Okay, condoned means accepted socially. Condone means to accept anything. As I told you that in older times, as there was no scientific advancement, people used to accept this belief that what is happening in the nature is of course reality. Means to accept or accepted that is socially or morally wrong. Or morally wrong it is. That is socially or morally wrong. It could be condoned, means we accept it. Socially and morally wrong means what was wrong, it was accepted. In the older times, this practice was, of course, you can say, really you can say it was adapted by the people, that this is of course the reality. But in modern times, it's not like that. Comets are known for what they are. Their movements are forecast precisely by mathematical calculations, and it is clearly established by statistical studies. Statistical studies means studies based upon some data, some figures. So, but he said in the modern times, this is not at all the reality. The movement of the comets, the movement of the stars, and all the heavenly bodies, they can be precisely forecasted. Precisely we can tell at what time this planet will be at which position. It can be done with the help of mathematical calculations, and of course it is clearly established by some statistical studies that their visits have no correlations with the disasters on the earth. And with the help of, you can say, with the help of some studies also, it has of course been explained that these comets, their visits, they don't have to do anything with some disaster on the earth. All this is of course futile. Futile means useless on my part to explain, but he said what I am explaining to you is of course useless for you, and the likes of you never read even the elementary books on science, because people like you, and of course you have never read some basic books in the school on science only. This is the reason why you are so superstitious. Shivaji Babu gently interjected, but our wise forefathers recommended such yajnas. Now he said, of course, maybe you are right, but our forefathers, who were our elders, they have also given us they were also conducting these kind of yagyas and yajnas. Since his return from London, the Tatta was in regular correspondence with Sir John Macpherson. Their friendship had grown out of their appreciation of each other's virtues. So now, virtues means qualities. So now, since the Tatta has come back from London, he was continuously in contact with Sir John Macpherson. And as they were in contact with each other, they were, of course, how their friendship has developed. Their friendship has developed for the reason of, because each one is admiring the other qualities of the other person. How friendship develops? When you admire someone, when you acknowledge the qualities of the other person, this is how the friendship develops. Otherwise, there will be no affinity, no likeness for any person. Sir John admired the Tatta's scientific outlook, while the Tatta means latter. You know, when we are talking about two persons, the first one is called as former and the second one can be called as latter. Okay, and the latter, here latter one who is, it is the Tatta. And the latter admired the former's discipline and efficiency. So now, means like Sir John Macpherson, he admired the Tatta's, you can say, scientific temperament, his scientific skills, that how great scientist he is, that being an amateur astronomer, he has, you can say, invented this comet. And the Tatta, he was admiring Mr. John Macpherson's discipline, his efficiency, that how efficient he is, that how in a short time he is trying to organize a, you can say, he is trying to organize a, you can say, way how to contradict the effect of this, you can say, effect of this, you can say, comet, and how it is going to affect us. Now, their correspondence never mentioned the project Light Brigade, although once in a while Sir John would hint at its progress in a subtle, means in a very light manner that the Datta would understand. So, because it was of course a very secret project, so Mr. John Macpherson, He has never made any kind of, you can say, mention. He has never made any kind of this, you can say, mention of the project Light Brigade. Why he has not made any mention of this project Light Brigade? It is because of this reason that it was, of course, a great secret for everyone. But in order to make Dutatta, you can say, aware of this fact, he somehow or one or the other manner, he has made, of course, mention of this, you can say, in a very subtle, in a very light manner. That means not directly he is talking about this project, but so that Dutta would understand. Now, meanwhile, Comet Datta was following its predicted path. In due course, it developed its tail. Its tail means it is entering the Earth's atmosphere. It is because of contact with the gases that it is showing. So now, meanwhile, what happened? Comet Datta was following the predicted path. Predicted means which was pre-calculated. So Comet Datta was coming towards the Earth, and during this time it has developed a tail also. It circled round the sun without breaking apart, nor did it evaporate. It was circling around the sun. Because Earth is also revolving around the sun, and at one point will come when both Earth and comet will be at the same point and there would be collision. So, and it was not evaporating because ultimately comets, there are a lot of gases. Okay. And here, so scientists in Project Light Brigade therefore knew that the threat of collision was now very much real. Now the scientists who were thinking that maybe this would definitely evaporate, now they are coming to know, yes, this threat of, you can say, collision is real. Anytime this kind of collision can take place. In the middle of October, it was in December, now October has come. Dutatta got a letter from Sir John. In the midst of descriptions of the meeting of Royal Astronomical Society, the unreasonably warm weather, the opening matches of the football season, and a recent by-election, Dutatta spotted the sentence he was eagerly looking for. The charge of the Light Brigade has begun. Let us hope for the best. So the spacecraft has been launched on time. So now, in the middle of October, so Dutatta even got a letter from Sir John Macpherson. So what it was, means he is describing about all, and he is describing that the meeting for Royal Astronomical Society was held, and it was warm weather in October there. There were football matches and there were some elections also. So finally, when the main sentence in the letter was shown, what was written, that the charge of Light Brigade had begun. See here that the charge of Light Brigade had begun, which means that the payload had been set up at its perfect place. And now spacecraft, it means it is launched. Now they are trying to save the Earth. But will it achieve the rendezvous in time and at the right place? So they were thinking whether this meeting, means it's a meeting. Okay, so whether this kind of meeting will take place at the right place, right time. Now it means that will the spacecraft will explode at the exact time when the Earth as well as that of planet, it would come exactly in front of, you can say, each other, whether it will happen or not. Will the remote control detonation work? Now, remote control, will it work? Because range is very far off and they have never tried it earlier. Because when you have tried it earlier, suppose any new appliance you are going to purchase in your house and it is working on remote control, then what will happen? You will never feel, you can say, accustomed to its use, and you are not, it's not so easy to use for you for the first time. But when you are using it daily, then you are coming to know, yes, of course, how it works. So now this happens. They were also worried about whether this detonation work will continue or not. So what if the gigantic nuclear pile fails to fire? What will happen if this nuclear material, which is kept for explosion, it would not explode? Now, this was one of the reasons of Datta's, you can say, worries. The Datta could not share his anxieties with anyone around him. So the Datta was inwardly very, you can say, he was disturbed, but he was not able to he was not able to share his worries with anyone around him. He had to participate in, means everything what is going on in the house. He will show happiness on his or smile on his face outwardly, okay, and outwardly enjoy puja ceremonies. And from his outer means he is wholeheartedly participating in these puja ceremonies. By means he's just showing that, but inwardly he was very disturbed. The Diwali celebration and other festivals were going on in the house. His soul, means his only daytime relaxation, was in the company of Kokha, the 8-year-old grandson, and of course at night looking at Divya. Only at 2 times in the house he was feeling relaxed. It was first of all with Kokha. Who is this Kokha? He was his grandson. It means he was a Dadaji, and at night looking at Divya. Okay, so this is all about we have to read till today. So tomorrow we will see that what will happen to this kind of collision. Okay, so now if you people have any doubts, you can ask me.